Good morning and welcome to Hohenfels Middle High School. Welcome to Hohenfels Middle High School for our 2024 Veterans Day ceremony. Before we begin, Hohenfels JROTC will present the colors. Please rise and remove your hats for the posting of colors and the playing of our national anthem by the Hohenfels Middle High School Band.
Veterans Day is a day dedicated to honoring those who served honorably in the military, living and dead, whether in wartime or peace. Originally known as Armistice Day, Veterans Day was created as a celebration of the resolution of World War I on November 11, 1918 at 11 a.m. And now, 106 years later, it has become a day of celebration and remembrance for all those service members who have given their time, talent, and lives for our nation.
In his proclamation on Veterans Day, President Biden said, "Today we honor generations of American veterans, patriots who have stood on front lines of freedom and kept the light of liberty shining bright around the world. Just as they have kept the ultimate faith in our nation, we must keep ultimate faith in them. Each of our nation's veterans is a link in a chain of honor that stretches back our founding days, founding by a sacred oath to support and defend the United States of America. Throughout history, whenever and wherever the forces of darkness have sought to extinguish the flame of freedom, America's veterans have been fighting to keep it burning bright."
Today, we would like to recognize our veterans and our active duty service members for their contributions to our national security and for all they have sacrificed for our great country. Next, I would like to welcome Mr. Reininger to the podium.
Welcome Colonel Blaha, Command Sergeant Major Hamako, students, staff, and families. Today we are gathered here to take time to honor and express our deepest gratitude to the brave men and women who serve in our military. Here at Hohenfels Middle High School, we are uniquely connected to the sacrifices and dedication of our armed forces. All of you know firsthand the challenges and the pride that comes with being in a community where we are all military connected. Most of you have one or more parent, guardians, or other family members that serve our country with courage and commitment, often facing difficult assignments, long separations, and frequent relocations. Their dedication to protect our freedom and securing a safe future for all of us is a true inspiration, and we are forever grateful. To our members of the military who are gathered here today, thank you for the countless sacrifices you make every day. We as teachers do all that we can to educate your children, but those efforts pale in comparison to what you do each and every day to protect our homeland. The strength and resilience you display set a powerful example for all of us, and it is because of your service that we are able to gather here freely. On behalf of the entire Hohenfels community, please know how much we appreciate you and how honored we are to stand alongside of you. Thank you for coming here today. Thank you for being an integral part of our school community. And thank you for all you do to protect our freedoms and defend our country. And now, please welcome Brooklyn Clark.
And in honor of Veterans Day, I would like to read a poem entitled We Honor You Today. To all of our veterans far and near, we thank you for your service for all those years. You sacrificed your time and some gave your life. You preserved our freedom by willingly paying the price. Many of you were sent overseas. You were wounded in battle with scars and disease. But courageous and brave, you weathered the storm. You faced every battle with faith and beyond. We honor you with joy for all that you've done. You stood strong for our country, for our daughters and sons. So no one stands alone. We walk hand in hand. Remember, we are with you. Together we shall stand. We salute you today. Hear what we say. Let our words speak eloquently in this special way. On this day, let us express our love and thanks for the sacrifices you paid. You served in honor for many years and days, and we will never forget how you were strong and brave. Thank you. And now I would like to invite Sergeant Weaver and Major Reynolds to the podium.
Before we recognize those service members who are with us today, we would like to recognize the prisoners of war, missing in action, and those who have lost their lives in the line of duty. A prisoner of war, or POW, is any person captured or placed in prison by enemy power during an international armed conflict. Missing in action, or MIA, is a person whose status and or whereabouts is unknown. A known POW is not necessarily MIA, but a person MIA may be an unidentified POW. Missing in action status is often the temporary report until a service member's whereabouts can be identified and his or her status is confirmed. Sadly, some service members' status become permanently MIA. Military POWs and MIAs are all veterans. According to the Pentagon's Defense POW MIA Accounting Agency, as of August 8, 2024, there are currently more than 81,200 unaccounted for U.S. personnel, including 72,044 from World War II, 7,465 from the Korean War, 126 from the Cold War, 1,575 from the Vietnam War, and 6 from our most recent conflicts or wars on terror. We want to take a moment to honor those service members.
As you entered today, you may have noticed the empty table. This table set for one is small to show the frailty of one prisoner alone. The tablecloth is white, symbolic of the purity of their intentions to respond to their country's call to arms. The black napkin represents the sorrow of captivity. The single red rose in the vase signifies the blood that many have shed to ensure the freedom of the United States of America. This rose also reminds us of the family and friends of our missing comrades who keep the faith, awaiting their return. A slice of lemon on the plate reminds us of their bitter fate. The salt sprinkled on the plate reminds us of the countless fallen tears of families as they wait. The glass is inverted because they cannot toast with us. The candle, reminiscent of the light of hope that lives in our hearts to illuminate their way home, away from their captors, to the open arms of a grateful nation. And lastly, the chair sits empty because they are not here. At this time, we respectfully ask you to bow your heads in a moment of silence. At this time, I would like to invite Ms. Wood to the podium for the veteran recognition. Thank you.
Good morning. Today we would like to recognize those veterans and active duty members who have joined us for the ceremony today. So when I call your name, you are going to walk down and meet Dr. Johnson and Mr. Reniger. Students, when you hear your parent's name, you will stand up, you will come over and stand next to Dr. Johnson. We'll shake hands, we'll get a picture, and then you'll be able to go back to your seats. All right. Sergeant First Class John Allenbrand, escorted by Bentley Allenbrand. Bentley, come on up. Mr. Allenbrand has served in the United States Army for 17 years. We thank you for your service. Specialist Jonathan Bocanegra, escorted by Alice Kate Erdman. Mr. Bocanegra served in the United States Army for 5 years and currently works at Hohenfels Middle High School as an instructional aide. We thank you for your service. Sergeant First Class Paul Cameron, escorted by Kennedy Cameron. Mr. Cameron has served in the United States Army for 20 years. We thank you for your service. Sergeant First Class Javaris Carter, escorted by Tiana Carter. Mr. Carter has served in the United States Army for 18 years. We thank you for your service. Specialist Corey Christians, escorted by Danica Thompson. Mr. Christian served in the United States Army for 3 years and currently works at Hohenfels Middle High School as a math teacher. We thank you for your service. Command Sergeant Major Jesse Clark and Specialist Tiffany Clark, escorted by Brooklyn, Mackenzie, and Jesse Clark. Mr. Clark has served in the United States Army for 23 years, and Mrs. Clark served in the United States Army for 4 years. We thank you both for your service. Master Sergeant Christopher Collin, escorted by Sadie Jenkins. Mr. Collin has served in the United States Army for 22 years. We thank you for your service. Master Sergeant Jason Diaz, escorted by Jaden and Jalen Diaz. Mr. Diaz has served in the United States Army for 19 years. We thank you for your service. Sergeant First Class Chris Dole, escorted by Sawyer Baxter. Mr. Dole served in the United States Army for 24 years and currently works at both Hohenfels Elementary School and Hohenfels Middle High School as the administrative officer. We thank you for your service. Staff Sergeant Carlos Echeverry, escorted by Dylan and Donnan Echeverry. Mr. Echeverry served in the United States Navy for 12 years and the United States Army for 12 years and proudly retired in 2014. We thank you for your service. Sergeant First Class Jasper Enciso, escorted by Michaela Enciso. Mr. Enciso has served in the United States Army for 24 years. We thank you for your service. Lieutenant Colonel Rick Farrell, escorted by Luke Farrell. Mr. Farrell has served in the United States Army for 21 years. We thank you for your service. First Sergeant Sean Frank, escorted by Nina Frank. Mr. Frank has served in the United States Army for 19 years. We thank you for your service. Staff Sergeant Kyle Gall, escorted by Logan Gall. Mr. Gall has served in the United States Army for 16 years. We thank you for your service. Sergeant First Class Michael Gonsalves, escorted by Jason Santos and Gloria and Julian Gonsalves. Mr. Gonsalves has served in the United States Army for 15 years. We thank you for your service. Sergeant Major Adam Heffelfinger, escorted by Zofia and Natalia Heffelfinger. Mr. Heffelfinger served in the United States Army for 32 years. Lieutenant Colonel Dan Huff, escorted by Kayla Huff. Mr. Huff has served in the United States Army for 18 years. We thank you for your service. Major Derek Jones, escorted by Cariana and Dylan Jones. Mr. Jones served in the United States Air Force for 20 years and currently works at Hohenfels Middle High School as the school's registered nurse. Sergeant First Class Thomas Jowers, escorted by Benjamin, Tristan, and Joshua Hastings. Mr. Jowers has served in the United States Army for 19 years. We thank you for your service. Sergeant First Class Keith Kokenberg, escorted by Ethan Kokenberg. Mr. Kokenberg served in the United States Navy for 7.5 years and the United States Army for 17.5 years. We thank you for your service. Sergeant Major Rob Landry, escorted by Logan Landry. Mr. Landry has served in the United States Army for 18 years. We thank you for your service. Sergeant First Class Altonia McCall, escorted by Chloe Dieter. Ms. McCall has served in the United States Army for 18 years. We thank you for your service. Master Sergeant Andre Minin and Specialist Lil Minin, escorted by Alexander Minin. Mr. Minin has served in the United States Army for 20 years. Ms. Minin served in the United States Army for 5 years. We thank you for your service. Staff Sergeant Sandra Noel and Sergeant First Class Noel Noel, escorted by Alani Noel. Ms. Noel served in the United States Army for 22 years, and Mr. Noel has served in the United States Army for 19 years. We thank you for your service. Master Sergeant Patrick Odhiambo, escorted by Jillian, William, and Mary. Mr. Odhiambo has served in the United States Army for 19 years. We thank you for your service. Technical Sergeant Chris Poilicki, escorted by Jameson Mueller. Mr. Poilicki served in the United States Air Force for 11 years and currently works at Hohenfels Middle High School as a physical education teacher and coach. We thank you for your service. Sergeant First Class Levi Pierre Louis and Sergeant First Class Tanisha Pierre Louis, escorted by Nicholas Pierre Louis. Mr. and Mrs. Pierre Louis have both served in the United States Army for 16 years. We thank you for your service. Sergeant First Class Jacob Piotrowski and Sergeant Kenya Piotrowski, escorted by Kevin and Jaden Piotrowski. Mr. Piotrowski has served in the United States Army for 16 years, while Mrs. Piotrowski served in the United States Army for 8 years. We thank you for your service. Sergeant First Class Christopher Ragas, escorted by Alex Ragas. Mr. Ragas has served in the United States Army for 19 years. We thank you for your service. Major Brent Reynolds, escorted by Erica Dippersuth. Mr. Reynolds served in the United States Army for 23 years and is currently working at Hohenfels Middle High School as a JROTC instructor. We thank you for your service. Sergeant First Class Antoine Robinson, escorted by Antoine Robinson. Unfortunately, Mr. Robinson couldn't be here today, but Antoine Robinson Jr. is the son of a man who has served in the United States Army for 20 years. We thank him for his service. Staff Sergeant Manuel Rodriguez, escorted by Elena and Sofia Rodriguez. Mr. Rodriguez was unable to be here today, but he served in the United States Army for 14 years, and we thank him for his service. Airman First Class Pilar Ruiz, escorted by Ciar Ruiz. Mr. Ruiz served in the United States Air Force and currently works at Hohenfels Middle High School as our Spanish teacher. We thank you for your service. Sergeant First Class Rosina Scott, escorted by Trayvon Marcavius and Liliana Scott. Ms. Scott has served in the United States Army for 10 years. We thank you for your service. Staff Sergeant Will Serino, escorted by Dominic Turley. I believe Mr. Serino was unable to be here due to the taking care of his newborn daughter. But Mr. Serino served in the United States Air Force and currently works at Hohenfels Middle High School as the business teacher. We thank you for his service. Lieutenant Colonel James Siebert, escorted by Connor Landreth. Mr. Siebert has served in the United States Army for 20 years. We thank you for your service. Chief Warrant Officer 3, Lanika Smith, escorted by Kenya Tucker. Ms. Smith served in the United States Army for 21 years. We thank you for your service. Chief Warrant Officer 4, Michael Spalsbury, escorted by Hayden Spalsbury. Mr. Spalsbury served in the United States Army for 27 years. We thank you for your service. Staff Sergeant Pearl Talamoa Kaisa, escorted by Titwa Kaisa. Ms. Talamoa Kaisa has served in the United States Army for 8 years. We thank you for your service. Command Sergeant Major Steve Toko, escorted by Benjamin and Lena Toko. Mr. Toko has served in the United States Army for 23 years. We thank you for your service. Sergeant First Class Benjamin Walling, escorted by Harper Jensen Bui. Mr. Walling has served in the United States Army for 15 years. Sergeant First Class Kingsley Walters, escorted by Kyle and Keyshawn Walters. Unfortunately, Mr. Walters was unable to be here today, but he currently serves in the United States Army. We thank him for his service. Sergeant First Class Terry Weaver, escorted by Kazina Hicks. Mr. Weaver served in the United States Army for 22 years and currently works at Hohenfels Middle High School as a JROTC instructor. We thank you for your service. First Lieutenant Michael Weston, escorted by Mateo Reyes. Mr. Weston has served in the United States Air Force for 13 years and currently works at Hohenfels Middle High School as a physical education teacher and coach. We thank you for your service. Chief Warrant Officer 3 Quentin Young and Staff Sergeant Nicole Young, escorted by Gwendolyn Young.
I lost aura, chat.
Mr. Young has served in the United States Army for 23 years, and Miss Young served in the United States Army for 8 years. We thank you for your service. Command Sergeant Major Trenton Zaragoza, escorted by Jonas Zaragoza. Mr. Zaragoza has served in the United States Army for 25 years. We thank you for your service. At this time, we would like to ask all veterans in attendance to please stand so that we can recognize your service with one more round of applause. All veterans. Even you in the stands, come on.
I lost aura, chat. I leave for every freaking assembly, but every assembly.
It was Nelson Mandela who once said, "I learned that courage was not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. The brave man is not he who does not feel afraid, but he who conquers that fear." Even through the tough times, you have all shown strength and pushed through when faced with adversity. We are thankful every day for our veterans and current service members who continue to triumph over fear and protect us. Hohenfels Middle High School appreciates your patriotism and valor. Without it, America would not be the great country it is today. Thank you for the endless sacrifices you and your family made and your dedication to our country and the military mission. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give our service members another round of applause.
Thank you, Hohenfels Middle High School, for your awesome participation in today's ceremony. You are now dismissed to seminar.